before you started coaching with me, or about a month ago, we had a coaching call. Do you want to just share with me, or share with us, what was going on for you in that moment?
Thank you so much, Quentin, for the opportunity. But I think when I joined the coaching, there was uncertainty for me in terms of where I was going, and the uncertainty was coming from the fact that, when you've got a room full of stuff, or a garage, if I may use an example, but you don't know where it needs to go, where you should be putting everything else. But remember, when it, like, being in a coaching session, it's more like you're getting a somebody who's like an interior designer who tells you that, this would look best here, this would look. It's not that they are bringing all the resources to you, but they are sort of like showing you how you can best structure your mindset in terms of things. So before I started, I think I was all over the show. Procrastination, fear of the world, not too sure about how I should be approaching certain scenarios and situations. But I think now I'm very much comfortable in terms of understanding how the world operates and how things happen. Sometimes, it's not about, life is not rocket science, and we just make it to be rocket science. But with coaching, that's when you get to understand that some other things are as simple as that. You just have to know, but you wouldn't necessarily know because you are not a specialist in that field until somebody tells you that this is straightforward. You are not seeing it because society has taught you a certain thing that it's not correct. So it's like getting into that self-correct mode, but with somebody who's guiding you in the process.
So awesome, thanks for sharing that. I want to ask you also, if you recall, about a month ago, the one specific call we had was, you were speaking about sales targets and that, and not sure on the clarity around that. Do you want to maybe just share a little bit about that, and then sort of what experienced in the last months now that's just passed?
Sure. I think that's a very much interesting one. Having started this new job at my current company, and as a salesperson, you are very much confident in what you do. You know what you do. But I think the change of jobs came with a little bit of change in terms of mindset, and the new targets gave me a little bit of scare and fear. I was confident I was going to be able to do it, but I think the approach that I was applying of working hard and not necessarily understanding what I bring as a person to the table. And I think one of the sessions you did mention that, how about you slow yourself down, because now you're chasing the targets, you're wanting to make things happen. Understand what you have, understand where you're going, and what you want to achieve. And I think that's where we realized that from together, we figured out that I do have connections that I can use. I do have a market out there that I can go to, and the product that I have, it's something that everybody needs. So understand that at my arsenal, I do have a bunch of people that I can speak to that can buy. And long story short, I was talking to you the few days that I made my target and I'm above target by just understanding that sometimes you have to slow down, understand what you have, where you're going, what you want to achieve. So it's not about working hard, but also working smart. I've got a number of people that I know in the market that I've worked with in the past that I can pick up a call and say, hi, I'm not selling anything, I'm just checking up on you. By the way, this is where I am, what I'm doing. And a brilliant story is that I've got a group of, there's a company that has got multiple branches that I've now signed up based on that conversation. It's like, I've been thinking about you, but I did not recall your name, but me picking up that phone call and reintroducing myself and just doing a quick checkup then opened up this whole bunch of opportunities where I can go and sell. So coaching for me, it's about restructuring what you know. It's not that you don't know what you have to do, but you've got this person who's there who can help you understand what needs to happen. And by just looking at that sales period where I was just off my probation and I'm off to a very excellent start by just understanding what I need to do. And like you mentioned as well, the value that comes with sometimes you don't have to sell. Just be there, understand that everybody's asking something from everyone. Don't be the person who's asking, but be there to offer. Be like, hi, I'm just offering my help. If it does help, it's fine. If you don't, even if you don't get it from me, anybody else out there will still help you, but this is the right way of doing it. And that's, I think, just the trick about it.
Awesome. And so if I have to ask you, what's been the biggest impact for you personally?
The biggest impact for me personally, I think it's understanding. We tend to think for each and every scenario without understanding. And what I mean by that is, if I'm driving, I'm trying to understand what the next driver is doing instead of just focusing on why am I driving. I'm driving because I need to get to a destination. What the next person is doing has got other reasons that have got nothing to do with where I am going. So it's understanding more than anything. And when you understand what you're doing, you stop trying to understand what other people are doing, but you work with facts, like you mentioned earlier on, to say, sometimes you assume that someone is rushing because they are late, but maybe they're high on something, but you assumed the rush comes with lateness. So those assumptions, when you remove assumptions from life, you get facts. And when you get facts, you get understanding. And when there's understanding, there's clarity. And there is no gray lines. Gray lines are out, and you're just working with factual things that exist other than speculations. So yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is how much we think we know life, but at times we don't even understand it.